bringing you another freaking dope, unique vid as always. If y'all have not seen, I made my first post on Instagram, like literally in 2 years. The first post of Bludini ever on Instagram. Like, I completely built the damn car already, and I finally posted the car on there. Today's video, guys, we are going to be taking care of some more of the smaller things for Bludini. As you can see right here, we got my air filter, which is just completely gray, not red whatsoever. I just detailed my whole engine bay literally the other day. I did the whole mods video of the car, just doing a little bit more maintenance, getting the things done that I need to get out of the way done. And this is one of them. And you want to know something else small that I've never installed? Ever since I installed my Boss 302, I never put on the Ford racing sticker that belongs right there to give it a nice touch up. And after 10 months, we finally threw on the Ford sticker to complete the Boss look. Now, essentially, you're really supposed to clean your air intake like I would say like 2 times a year. Depending on, some people might clean them 3 or 4 times, but I mean, if you have a really clogged up air intake, then your engine is not going to be sucking in as much cold air as it needs to be, and then you're going to be potentially losing a little bit of power. I mean, not as much, but just be able to slap that thing right up on out here, and boom. As you can see right here, guys, we have, I don't know, let's see, let's go this way. If we go this way into the light, then you can definitely see that it is pretty dirty. And when I took it to this one shop, they smashed my air intake to complete my clutch. The next day, I popped my hood and my air filter was smashed, which is pretty sad. But yeah, the last time I cleaned up my air filter was about 8 months ago. Basically, when I installed, I think it was like 8 to 10 months ago when I installed my Boss 302, and it went through half a summer, it went through fall, it went through winter. And now we are back in summer, and it is time to clean it up again. So let's take this thing up on in my house and let's get to cleaning this thing. All right, so this is the product that we're going to be using, the Canon recharger right here. You can find this at AutoZone, O'Reilly's, anywhere. If you don't even see it on the shelf, just ask the clerk and then they will give it to you, because I actually had a hard time finding this thing. It was like in a hidden spot. Also, in another hidden spot right here, as y'all can see, we got the Cook's 1 7/8 headers that have been in my room for literally 2 months. I have not installed them on my car, but we're getting things in plan. I plan on hitting the dyno pretty soon. I want to get the numbers before the car, and then we're just gonna get things in plan to get rocking. So hold off on that. But let's get to deteriorating. Air filter right here comes with 2 bottles in the box, a degreaser that we got here to degrease all the dirt, everything, let it soak down, fall out really easy out of the filter. And then we actually have the red air oil filter spray that'll enhance the image of this freaking filter and just oil it up. We're gonna hit this with the degreaser first. This whole process, guys, might take about a couple of hours because you do need to let everything dry after we spray it down, after we put water on it, then let it dry. But we're gonna hit it with this degreaser first, all the way around pretty evenly. Spray the outside first, and then you also do want to spray the inside. I'm gonna do this thing. And we cannot forget the top that is right here. Guys, this thing might not look as dirty, but watch. When I rinse this thing off, you're gonna see hella dirt falling out of this thing. Okay, and that's good. So now that we drenched this thing up in the degreaser, we're just gonna let it sit for about a good 10 to 15 minutes. Let that degreaser work, soak in, get everything out, and then we're gonna hit it with some water. Out of here, now we put our filter inside of this bucket, and yes, as you can see, I'm in my sink area. However, since I put the filter in the bucket, once I rinse it off, all the water, the dirty particles will just be in this bucket, and it won't really be inside the sink where I use it. Basically, you do not want to do that. Essentially, I'm gonna rinse the filter like inside out, just like this, have the water running down basically like that, so all of the dirt can file outside of the filter instead of back in. All right, and as you guys can see, this is how I've done it. I actually used a bucket. I filled this up with water so I can hold up the filter at the same time and just pour right through and let it drain down into the bucket. It is not in my sink area at all whatsoever. But as you can see here, all the oil, all the dirt, everything is has basically like fallen out of this thing. And essentially, you want to get all the oil out until this thing turns really gray. I just did a 3rd round of letting the water rinse through the air filter and out, and as you can see in this 3rd round, the water is not too much oily, so you can say we are about done. Letting all that oil out, letting all the dirt out and everything. Also, as we take a closer look, you can see I have a little bit of bugs just left up on in there. Let's focus. If you want to take a toothbrush or some type of brush and just brush it all the way down from one end to the middle, basically one end to the middle. Then you can do that. You can super clean it, but I don't think I'm gonna do that because I don't have too many bugs or too much stuff stuck up in here. The water did a good job. As I'm going to let this thing sit out in the sun for a good 3 hours, and we'll come back.
Approximately 10 hours later.
And 15 hours later, guys, we have this oil filter completely dry. I have not been driving Bludini at all, so I just let it sit overnight since I was not going to be driving the car. Now let's go apply the oil and apply this back to the car. You know how this thing was dented a little bit. I'm just get this thing, push the filter out so it can be even. And we are going to evenly apply the oil. I am also going to do the top here and just go around pretty evenly. The top, I would say, is pretty good. You guys, you really don't want to put too much oil on there. I gotta be careful because I am tending to put a little bit too much. As we get up close to this thing and throw the air filter back in, you can definitely see that this air filter is back alive, guys. Not only does it make this engine bay look a little bit better, but also the engine will perform slightly better as well. Now in this light, it's kind of hard to see unless I get really up close to it. Then you can definitely see how oiled up this thing is, how red it is, because you guys remember how gray it used to be. It was completely horrible and looked ugly under here. That was the only flaw that was really taking this engine bay out of this place. Guys, instead of having to get a new oil filter, just go ahead and clean up your oil filter with this Canon recharger right here. It's only like less than like $15 at freaking AutoZone. And these GLT oil filters, these things are like 100 something plus or something like that. So save yourself some money, you know, do the maintenance on your car, clean up your engine bay, check your oil, clean your oil filter, even around your house, you know, just do the small maintenance. That's what we're getting done with Bludini right now. And even as I'm gonna put the little small clip as I took yesterday as well. In the meantime though, while we do wait for that filter to dry up, y'all remember how I told y'all my bumper was sticking out slightly like that? It's not even flush on both sides. On both sides. I'm gonna actually try to fix this in the meantime. I got a bumper retainer right here I actually have to throw on this side, so I'm hoping that the new bumper retainer from Ford will fix that. And as we compare the old one to the new one, as you guys can see here, I am missing a tab right there. A tab is actually broken off of the old one compared to the new one, so that is potentially why this side is actually hanging out. So as you can see, I threw that bumper retainer on there and now my bumper right here is pretty flush. Now, if it depends, and when I drive, if this thing will pop out again, because usually it sometimes does that, but right now it is looking really pretty flush in there and it is not going to come out. And if we go over to the other side is actually pretty flush. I'm hoping that it does not come out again as well, but it does look like it is just slightly off. Finished up the air filter recharge. Now I'm telling y'all, these headers and everything, they are coming. I did make an appointment to get dynoed for this car because I want to get the numbers with this car without the headers, and then like I said, I have the headers and I have a 90mm throttle body, so I want to do a big comparison and just make sure I get all the numbers and post all that, get all that stuff for y'all to post on the channel and to see what all this stuff can do. After that, like I said, it is going to be E85. I know, like, I'm kind of waiting, but I'm so anxious because I haven't got into the banger content of this channel yet. You know, we're still taking care of the smaller things, but that's what we're still doing. We're still building, we're still taking the steps by steps, and we will eventually get there. Ain't no rush. Also, I do still have to come out with Bludini to return some cinematic edits. I will start adding additions to this channel here. We're going to be adding some special editions, some like movie type freaking stuff. You know, I'm just getting everything in plan right now. We're just taking care of the smaller things. Like I said, y'all take care of y'all small things too, man. But other than that, I'm gonna wrap this video up here pretty short because we gone.